everybody, this is D Hunter bringing another action figure review. Today we're going to be looking at the DST or Diamond Select Toys, the Rocketeer action figure. Now this is the character Cliff Secord from the film The Rocketeer. This is a film from 1991. I really did enjoy this film as a kid, and I haven't seen it in so many years. I might actually watch this tonight or tomorrow night to see if it still holds up as much as it did when I was a youngster. This is a select figure, meaning they usually come with a bunch of extra accessories or a display base. They retail for about $25. I got my figure from Sure Thing Toys. I think I paid $28 shipped, so basically it was retail plus a little bit of tax and free shipping. So let's go ahead and check out the packaging here. As you can see, this is a select figure, the Rocketeer. Here he is in there. I love that he has this unmasked as well as masked head, just like the film, which is really cool. Looks like an alternate front of his shirt. We've got some exhaust for his rocket, it looks like. A display base, looks like he's taking off. 6 alternate hands, totaling 8 additional hands. And it looks like some blueprints for the rocket, which in my opinion is really cool. See the Rocketeer here, flying in midair. One side here simply says the Rocketeer. On the bottom, really nothing going on. On the back side here, there is a barcode in case anyone needs it. You can see the Rocketeer, he's got his rocket on the back, some exhaust coming out. Here he is coming off his display stand. And then here's his unmasked head and his masked head. There's no checklist on the back because this is going to be a one-off. There's no way they're going to make any more figures for this film. Even though I'd love to get his girlfriend, it just doesn't seem realistic. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. Looks like he comes with 6 interchangeable hands, totaling 8 alternate hands, a different front part of his leather jacket, some blueprints for the rocket, and masked and an unmasked head. Looks like he has sort of a diorama display base with some flames, exhaust from his rocket. Then he also has some smaller flames that look like they can detach from his rocket. But before we look at his accessories, let's check out the actual figure. So this figure here is supposed to be based off of the actor Billy Campbell, who played Cliff in The Rocketeer. I must say, I think the face looks pretty bad. Looks very rough. Looks awkward, like he's kind of looking in the corner with his green eyes there. Looks very cartoonish. I don't know if they paid for this actor's likeness rights or if they weren't willing to, and that's why it looks like this. I'm assuming they paid for it and just sort of dropped the ball here. His hair looks pretty good. Just face looks very soft. Now, leather jacket, I think looks pretty cool. You can see all the buttons there. This rocket looks great. I have no issues with that thing, except for I wish it was removable. You can see his pants down here, tall boots, got gloves on. And I swear, the first thing that came to my mind when I saw this guy's face was the dummy from Goosebumps. He just almost doesn't even look like a real person. And here's the figure broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Next, let's check out his accessories, starting off with his hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands, and these are his only ungloved hands. They're sort of relaxed, can lay aside. Here he is with his second pair of hands, his first pair of gloved hands. These are also sort of relaxed and regular at his sides. Here he is with his third pair of hands. These are pretty similar to his open, relaxed hands. These ones almost seem to be trying to cup something. Not sure what the purpose of these hands is. And here he is with his fourth pair of hands. His right hand here is a trigger holding hand, which is great for holding a gun, but he doesn't come with a gun, so I'll have to scrounge around and find one for him. And his left hand here almost looks like it's pressing a button. Trigger finger, and the other one there. Next, let's check out his heads. While I'm not a very big fan of the Cliff head, I think the Rocketeer head helmeted looks great. Here's his unmasked head as Cliff. I personally just think this head is cartoonish, soft, and awkward looking. And then here he is with his helmet on, transforming himself into the Rocketeer. Now this helmet looks great. Let's not kid ourselves. Anyone buying this figure, this is what you want to do with this figure. Little fin looking great. The sculpting details look nice. It has some weathering to it, just like the film. Old school noir look to it. Really liking this thing. They pulled this off nicely, even if the other head wasn't that great. And just one more real close look at his helmet. Definitely liking what I'm seeing here. He does also come with these two different fronts to his leather jacket. The one on the left here completely buttoned up, and the one on the right a little bit unbuttoned, maybe after he's been through some stuff in the final part of the film. Here he is with the first attachment completely buttoned up. And here he is with the second attachment a little bit unbuttoned. I like how they put the buttons behind here, so whether it's fully buttoned up, it'll cover those up, or if it's a little bit open, you can see those. And here's how he looks with neither one on. Here are his blueprints for the rocket. This thing here is simply out of cardboard. Looks pretty cool. I can see a lot of different uses for this in my action figure world. A lot of it going to be a prototype for perhaps a bomb. Even has a lot of wording and detail here. You can read all that. Pretty nice. And it's not the first set of blueprints I've gotten for my action figure world. Next, I'll show the flame pieces or exhaust that will come out of his rocket. These things are casted into transparent plastic. There's a peg at the top here that should connect into the bottom of his rocket. And here are the flames attached to his rocket. Just like expected, fit in there nicely. You can have him flying around, all that good stuff. And take a generic flight stand. This one I think came with a McFarlane Multiverse Superman figure. Maybe not the best for this Rocketeer, as I had to attach around his legs. But you know what? Looks pretty cool. He's in midair, flying around with his rocket. And then, this being a select figure, we also have this Diorama Display piece. This here is larger flames, a bunch of smoke at the bottom. This will be able to support your figure and have it standing in midair on your shelf. This thing is also casted, at least at the top, with some transparency. Then as it goes down, nice amount of detail, hollow in the middle, going to have nice stability, no problem standing. Here he is, utilizing the Diorama piece. You can see his feet are not touching the ground here. And while this did not come with the figure, I went through my bag of extra guns, found this sort of old school looking gun, and it fits perfect in his hand. Here he is holding this pistol. I decided to substitute for him. And then here he is using his rocket, got some flame coming out of the back, on a flight stand with his pistol, ready for action. This figure has pretty much delivered everything I would want in a Rocketeer figure, with the exception of his rocket being removable. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at his accessories, next let's try the height of this figure. So, from bottom to the top, sitting at about 6 3/4 inches, which will translate to about 17 centimeters. Next, let's check out this guy's articulation. So starting with his head here, of course they're going to rotate from side to side, look down about that far, up about that much. You can see the ball's pretty small inside of his neck. Shoulders, also on a ball joint, go out a little bit less than 90 degrees, but not too bad. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows and go all the way in. His wrist can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. His waist here looks like there's nothing going on, even underneath here. Looks like it's one solid piece of plastic here. Legs going to go out more than 90 degrees, complete splits, complete ease, not a ball joint, kind of an odd bit of articulation inside of there. Almost looks like a hook his legs are inside of. Then go forward, full 90 degrees, back not at all. He's got single jointed knees. Looks like they're going to be able to rotate as well. So there's a cut above the knee, and the knee can bend and it can rotate inside. So it's almost like a double rotation, which seems a little unnecessary. Then his feet here, they go up and down, and they can rock a little bit. They cannot rotate around. Next, let's check this guy out compared with some other action figures. Now, the absolute first figure I wanted to compare him to was this DC Collectibles Bombshells Hot Girl. Bombshells are sexy DC characters put into sort of old school scenarios from the 30s and 40s. Absolutely perfect for the Rocketeer. And honestly, I always thought this Hot Girl figure was sort of an homage to the Rocketeer. She's got a helmet kind of similar. She's got the rocket here. She's got the handles. She's looking great and old school and phenomenal to pair up with this figure. And another figure that I thought about when I got this Rocketeer was Firefly from Batman. This is a Batman villain that uses a jetpack or rocket pack, and he's a pyromaniac, burns things down. That's his passion. Here he is taking on a couple of Nazi soldiers. These are a couple of military figures from Plan B Toys. And he's going to fit in great with my collection of movie figures from the 80s and 90s, some of my favorite childhood movies. This is a figure I didn't even know I was missing until I saw a picture of him. Next, let's check this guy out compared with some other action figure lines from different various companies to see how he fits in both scale and style wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. So first of all, this guy is a 7-inch figure. I like to do my comparisons starting with the larger figures and working their way smaller, so he'll fit in with the first several 7-inch lines the best. Here he is with some of his DST brothers. These are 5 different action figure lines from DST or Diamond Select Toys. Here he is with some McFarlane Toys action figures. And here, next to some NECA figures. And here he is with some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. Here he is with some Mattel wrestling figures. He fits in pretty good with the Diamond Select, McFarlane, NECA, DC Direct, and wrestling figures. Now, next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. And here, next to some Mattel, DC Universe Classics, and Multiverse figures. And here, next to some Mafex figures. Now, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. Then, with some SH Figure Arts action figures. So overall, this is a pretty nice figure. I must say I think the sculpt and paint job are on point. The articulation is pretty good, but could be a little better. The only real complaints I have about this guy would be the fact that you can't remove his rocket, and his unmasked head is very soft. Beyond that, this guy looks pretty good. It was a figure I was missing from my collection that I didn't even know I needed. So if I were to rate this figure, I'd give him a 7.5 out of 10. He actually looks really nice with his helmet on and everything. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.